Good morning, Streakers, and happy Wednesday. It is the middle of the week as we head toward the end and the weekend. I'm Jeff Downs, and this is your Streaking podcast. Today, I received in my email inbox, and I get quite a bit in my email inbox, as you do, a note, a article from Kevin Eikenberry. And this is via LinkedIn, and I signed up for his insights and understanding. And what he talks about today, I'm going to apply specifically to what we do in streaking. Go imagine that, right? I know that you were concerned about that I somehow would not be able to apply it to streaking. However, I think it's critical and important to be able to understand this particular principle that he teaches and how streaking applies to it. He titles this article, "The Power of Peer Learning Partnerships." Peer learning partnerships. Well, what is a peer learning? Peer learning occurs at any time, and this is directly from his article. We learn directly through an interaction with a colleague. It can include on-the-job training, shadowing someone, peer coaching, and even spontaneous and casual conversations. Even if we know what it is, we might not realize or remember how powerful it is. Peer learning, facilitated by what we call learning partners, can be extremely effective as part of any learning process, whether formally or informally. Great things can happen when we provide a way to create those learning partnerships. So what are the benefits then? And he goes on to explain. And by the way, I'm still quoting from his article, and then we'll get into a little bit about what this means in regards to streaking. The benefits of peer learning. Creation of learning goals. When you pair people up as learning partners, you can encourage them to set goals for their growth and development. If learning partners are formed in connection with other training and learning events, those goals may already exist. In this case, the partnership is meant to help each person reach those goals. Increased accountability. When both partners have goals, the partnership can provide a tremendous accountability opportunity for both partners. Improved peer support. People need to talk to someone who understands their work situation. Having a peer to share with, receive encouragement from, and more can be extremely valuable. Now, if right now you're listening to this and thinking, well, this really only applies to work, hang in there. We'll translate to all areas of life, okay? Especially if the team is remote or hybrid, people can have a hard time finding the support at work. It goes on to have learning through dialogue, relationship and trust building, enhancing application and other learning, building coaching skills, cultivating a culture of learning. And then he goes on to say, it's your turn. Share your thoughts. Here's my thoughts. As you know, in the laws of streaking, we have law number 3, which is to create a community. When that law was originally established, what we saw was an opportunity for, as Kevin mentions here, accountability. If you're in a community, you're going to be more accountable. Now, this is somewhat true. Laurel likes to bring up that no matter what, you're going to be somewhat accountable, more accountable when you're in a community. However, the primary purpose of a community is not, I would suggest to you, for accountability. The primary purpose for a community is to celebrate, and to celebrate your success, and I would add here what Kevin says, learn together. There's no more powerful tool than being able to set an action that you then do repeatedly and sharing that with a group of people. In fact, when streaking started, as far as in our lives, it was all about the running streak and streaking together. You see, the United States Streak Running Association, or Running Streak Association, I always get those two mixed up. They looked at it and said, there's a lot of people who want to join in this similar activity. Let's create an association where we can all share together in our running triumphs and our running woes. This community became a support to one another, not an accountability. You see, they already had the accountability in the streak. The streak was something that when you are counting the number of days in a row you do something, holds you accountable. You realize that in order for the streak to count, you've got to do it tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. So as we talk about peer learning, and so now let's get this into our lives even more significantly. At work, we call it peers and colleagues. At home, we call it friends, neighbors, community. That is where we have the opportunity to support one another in our learning. You see, in the Streaking app, the reason why we set it up the way that we did is because we want people to be able to form communities and to share in like activities that they're doing on a consistent basis. And if they share in those like activities on a consistent basis and share about them, they then can support one another. At any point in time, if you download the Streakin app and go through the feed, you can see all kinds of people sharing what they've learned or posting proof about their particular streak, or even supporting others and celebrating with others that which the other person is doing. These celebrations are critical because they boost and give positive reinforcement to each one of us. Each one of us knows we need to be accountable. There's no hesitation in saying that we need to be accountable in some way or another. When you get together with friends, family, community, neighbors, you have the opportunity to celebrate with one another. When's the last block party that you had? What was it about? Accountability? No, it was about celebration. It was about the celebration of being neighbors. It may have been for a special holiday or an event. And what you do with streaking is the action or activity that you do every single day. And why not celebrate it? Why not have the opportunity together to be friends and with your friends celebrate that which you've accomplished and done that day? Your friends can do it. You can do it. Together you can celebrate. So as you look at power of peer partnerships, let's call it also the power of friendship, family, or community, you have the opportunity to celebrate together. So how do you do that with a streak? When you set a streak, a lot of times you feel like you might be alone in that streak. That's because many of the programs which are out there have for themselves a streak that you can keep up. What I'm thinking about is, for example, Duolingo. Duolingo, you have a streak, and that streak keeps you motivated in learning a language. However, it'll only take you so far, and it's really nice to be able to celebrate it. How do I know this? Because in the Streakin app, there are many individuals who will go to a magnificent amount of effort to get from Duolingo their streak and post it in the Streakin app. Why do this? Because it's about sharing and celebration. When people see how long your Duolingo streak is, they celebrate with you. Go to the comments and take a look. All kinds of celebration going on. As you celebrate together, it reinforces those good, positive vibes so that when the next time comes, that you're having a difficult time really doing your streak, even though it's laughably simple, you have at least those positive vibes that you can have in your life. As I look through and consider all of the different people who've been posting, the thousands and thousands of people who use streaking on a daily basis, I would say to each one of them, we're together in this. Each one of us wants to have consistency in our life because that consistency will breed for us opportunity to be successful, to win at whatever time we have. So my good friend, Kevin Eikenberry, right there with him. There is power in peer-to-peer partnerships. And I would say that linking that partnership together through activity, not just through the knowledge, that gives it an even more powerful bond, and that powerful bond will allow those individuals to progress further, faster, and even more efficiently. Even though streaking isn't about any of those things, it seems to happen. If you'd like to learn more about streaking, you know where to go. Download the Streakin app at the Apple App Store or at Google Play. And if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor and pass it along to a friend, someone who you want to celebrate with. In the Streakin app is a community button right at the end. Tap that community button, form your own community, and start streaking together. As you place posts inside of that community, it gets put to all the people only in that community. So you don't have to be as public. You can be right there with your community, be it your family, your friends, your neighborhood, maybe associates at work, colleagues. You can put all those in the community and celebrate together. Adopt a streak with one another and share that activity. Maybe it's a learning streak that you decide together to learn at least one thing daily. Any of those things can be done using the Streakin app. You can also learn about streaking by buying the book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or anywhere books are sold. Please, if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast, pass it on, let people know about streaking. Also, give us a review on the app or a review on the book. Certainly appreciate it. Until we talk tomorrow, please keep streaking.